Oh, hey folks, Joseph Kursky here with you. I have a confession. I love maps, not just to plan my own trips, but as teaching tools, research tools, tools for discovery and planning a more resilient future. In full confession, I used to make maps as a kid on big poster boards with colored pencils. So my love for maps goes way back to the mid-Jurassic. Get it? The mid-Jurassic. Maybe you like maps too. I have a whole house full and office full of maps. Topographic maps, big thematic maps, old road maps, maps on postcards, atlases, and much more. Can you relate? But as wonderful as these paper maps are, Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, the tools used to make modern maps, are even more useful than paper maps. Why? In this video, I'd like to talk about 5 reasons why GIS is more useful than paper maps. But first, just so you know where I'm coming from, I still say that paper maps still have their place. They're still useful in instruction to gather students on a table, around a table, or a wall where one of these is displayed to pore over these maps for discussion. They also, even more importantly, are important to have in the field if, or more accurately, when your electronic device, your phone, your GPS, your tablet, whatever you have in the field, fails or runs out of power or whatever. So to know how to read the landscape is very important, using paper maps and reading signs on the landscape. This can be very important in the field and can even save your life. So ideally, paper maps, if you take it out in the field, you have those that are coated in weather-resistant materials, such as those that Nat Geo maps have, just in case it's raining or it's snowy. So paper maps still have their place. But why is GIS more relevant, important, and useful than paper maps? Now, maps have always been great for communicating a huge amount of data in a small amount of space, whether it was clay tablets, wood blocks, or nowadays on a computer screen. But think about the problems that people are trying to solve today. For example, I'm the logistics manager for a mass transit organization for a major metropolitan area. I have 20 light rail lines, 30 trains on them, and 300 bus lines with 600 buses. I need to know which lines are running, which have problems, where all the trains and buses are at any given time, where to plan new routes, and so on. I can't do that with a bunch of paper maps. Or I'm studying fish brucellosis disease across 25 watersheds covering thousands of square kilometers and including 100 rivers and 500 lakes. I can't do this with paper maps either. With these 2 examples and hundreds of others that I could illustrate, from energy utilities to health, COVID tracking, as another example, to natural hazards, weather, for example, city planning scenarios, and many others. I hope it's clear that one advantage to GIS is that GIS handles a greater amount of data than paper maps ever could. This leads me to the second advantage of GIS over paper maps, and that is this data is increasingly in real time, using Internet of Things feeds, and increasingly in demand. People want to know and map what's happening now, or as close to now as possible. Think of wildfire perimeters, traffic, stream flow, and many other things changing by the day, by the hour, even by the minute on our dynamic planet Earth. This is a huge advantage of GIS over paper maps, which are static as of the publication date. The third advantage of GIS over paper maps are that you have the power to modify the maps. In fact, I have another video on superpowers. You don't have to wait until a publisher edits and reissues a paper map. You can change the colors, the classification method, add data to it, change the scale, change the map projection, and many more ways modify maps that you create and also copies of digital maps that others create in GIS toolsets such as ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Pro. The fourth advantage of GIS over paper maps is that GIS allows spatial analysis to be done. With paper maps, for example, let's say you've got earthquakes and plate boundaries on a paper map. You can say, well, it looks like there's more earthquakes near the plate boundaries than away from the plate boundaries. But you can't do much more than that. But with that data in a GIS, you can do analysis and say 55% of all earthquakes above 3.0 in magnitude over the past 12 months have occurred within 40 kilometers of the subducting plate boundaries. That's power. How many routes around the city in your package delivery network can be completed in 30 minutes? How many census tracts in a region have a median income of X and a median age of between 20 and 29? And hundreds of other examples. Quantifiable results from spatial analysis tools that include overlay, enrichment, proximity, spatial statistics, view sheds, routing, trace downstream, and more. The fifth advantage of GIS over paper maps, and I promise this is the last one, but there's many more we can talk about, is the communication aspect. Paper maps are limited in who has access to them. With GIS, you can share the resulting maps, with a colleague, a group of colleagues, your workplace, with anyone. Or if you do not wish to share, and there are many legitimate reasons not to share, that is another option. This includes many methods: story maps, infographics, dashboards, hub sites, experience builder sites, and others. And with this sharing capability comes embedding and combining in many ways. You can embed a web map inside a story map and make a video and many other combinations, all with the goal of more effective communications. Now, this list of 5 advantages of GIS over paper maps is my opinion, I admit, but based on 30 years of working in this field. And there are many advantages beyond the ones that I've indicated in this video. I'd love to hear your reactions and thoughts on this. Thank you, and map on.